Listen, I used to work there. I certainly understand what he's talking about. All right. What did you make, JT, as a student of NBA history? So, like, you know this even better than I do, and I think I know it really well, of Victor Wembanyama's performance in Game 5 and how he's going to spin it forward.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the fact that it didn't speak to the media afterwards. And, all guys have gone up. I saw you talking about Jordan, 89, his first trip to the conference finals, and he gets turned back. All these guys have gone through this. It's the same thing with teams, right? Like, that's why you just don't see a team that doesn't make the postseason as a very young team. And then the year after, they go all the way to the NBA finals and then win the championship. So you have to go through stuff like this. I didn't like his lack of aggression, right? I think that was my biggest issue with it, because you see in the games that they've won, he's been super aggressive. I think it was 25 shots in Game 1. It was 22 shots in Game 4, the 2 that they won. The 2 that they lost preceding last game, it was 15 and 16 shots. And then he only ends up taking 4 shots in the first half. He takes 15 overall. You can't win that way. So he's got to be super aggressive. I didn't like the fact that he's 7'5" and he's standing 30 feet from the basket. He is 7'5", 30 feet from the basket. He's got to get in there and he's got to get aggressive, Nick. So that was, that I didn't like that. And I didn't realize the hair was going to be this bad. My apologies.
What you got to do is you got to like tuck it into your headset.
The headsets. That's
like,
a good idea.
Put the headset on top of it. You got to, it looks like, honestly, it looks like you have a toupee.
now it looks like
now you look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. You look like, for people not watching, you're missing. This is a treat. So do you expect that to happen tonight for Victor Wembanyama?
No, I think he's going to come out aggressive. I mean, he's responded every time his back has been up against a wall. And this is the other thing, is like a fan of NBA history, and I'm sure you love this too. What's better than the all-time great? And again, it's very early to call him an all-time great, but that's what he wants to be. He's an all-time great talent. What's better than the all-time great with their back up against the wall, with their facing criticism, and you see how they respond? It's my favorite thing in sports, right? It's like, well, this guy can't handle this situation. How does he perform? It's the same thing like an all-time great pitcher. We've seen it with Clayton Kershaw. Oh, we want to put him in the all-time great conversation. He's got a big game. How does he perform in that spot? LeBron in 2012 against the Celtics, Game 6. I think that's the greatest performance of his career. That's when he faced the most pressure. He responded. So how does Wembanyama respond tonight? Now, the issue is he's got to do it 2 times in a row. He's got to do it tonight. Then he's got to do it in Game 7. And he really doesn't have too much of an excuse, because he's facing an injured animal. If you can't beat Oklahoma City when they're all banged up, how the heck are you going to beat them next year when their injury health is much better than it is right now?
You bet on this Thursday. Nick Costos and you on Westwood One Sports. Our guest, the well-coiffed and the star of NBA radio, our friend Justin Termine. YouTube.com/Termine Radio for Termine crashes out. Thunder are going to win the series, you think, in 7? That's how it's going to go?
I think so. Now, I think tonight San Antonio will win, but then you look ahead to Game 7. How are you supposed to make and I think San Antonio is probably even the better team, especially with the current injury situation. But how are you supposed to tell me that Oklahoma City, who has the experience of Game 7 last year against Denver, they win it? Game 7 of the NBA Finals, you don't face more pressure than that. They win it. So they kind of understand what it takes. I'm not sure that San Antonio does, especially on the road. And you saw some of the lack of maturity the other day. They didn't come out with the right mindset. Wembanyama is not aggressive. Then they allow the officials, who were horrific at the end of the third quarter. The missed goaltend, the ball off Chet's foot, the technical foul. It was a complete debacle. I can get upset with that. You can get upset with that, but they have to keep their cool, and I don't think they kept their composure. So in a spot like that, I would favor Oklahoma City, even though I think what's on the floor right now, the next game or two, is more talented on the San Antonio side.
Now, I say this because it's true. JT knows NBA history as well as anybody. So when I tell you this, right, and I did this a couple days, and then I saw a lot of people do it nationally doing it, and I had it a couple days ago. Anyway, just saying that the Knicks, in sweeping the Eastern Conference Final against the Cleveland Cavaliers, have now become one of 5 teams all time to win 11 consecutive playoff games. The 89 Lakers, who I think would have won the finals if Byron Scott and Magic Johnson don't get hurt against the Pistons, although the Pistons did sweep them. The 99 Spurs, who beat the Knicks. The 01 Lakers, who beat the Sixers 4-1. The 17 Warriors, who beat the Cavs 4-1. That's the company that the Knicks are keeping right now, in addition to having the best point differential ever of a team entering the NBA Finals. Does that, when you hear all of that from this Knicks team, who was the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference, like, does that jibe with you? Do you have a hard time putting all of that together? And how do you put it into perspective?
Yeah, I mean, you have to a little bit because so I'll give you the other stat that I've been using, and it's the point differential one. And I think it was 5 teams. The Knicks joined 5 other teams with 180 point differential heading into the NBA Finals. And if I remember correctly, it's the 2017 Warriors, it's the 71 Bucks, it's the 96 Bulls, it's the 86 Celtics, it's the 87 Lakers. Well, what do all those teams have in common? Not only did all of them win, so the company that New York is in regards to the point differential, all of those teams won, but they're teams that we still talk about 50 years later. It's not, oh, it was the 2006 Miami Heat, or it's the 1978 or 79 Sonics or Bullets, where they were able to win championships. They're teams that we talk about 50, 60 years later because they're all-time teams, and they have all-time great players. Jordan's involved, Bird's involved, Magic's involved, Kareem's involved, the Durant-Steph Curry combination. Those are the only teams. And then it's the Knicks. So that means something, regardless of how easy the competition has been in the Eastern Conference. The fact that they enter with that number and they're amongst those teams has to mean something.
Let's say it's Knicks Thunder. Who's going to win the finals?
Well, if the injuries are like, so if they get this and AJ Mitchell can't play with the calf, and I don't think he probably will, and Jalen Williams can't play with the hamstring injury, I would favor the Knicks. Now, if they're healthy, Oklahoma City, I would say like fully healthy, and everybody's not just playing, but they're playing at a very high level, I would give the edge to Oklahoma City. They're going to have home court. Their defense, I think, is better than the Knicks. They have more depth than the Knicks. But again, I don't think I've ever seen a team playing like this heading into the postseason. What I mean by this is something that Tim Legler said in the broadcast the other day. Everybody is in rhythm at the same time. Like, think about 2000 last year. Oklahoma City won the championship. They kind of did that despite Chet really not playing well offensively. You go back to Denver winning the championship in 2023. Michael Porter Jr. did not play well throughout that run. The Celtics really didn't have Porzingis. He was spotty at times. And when they won the title in 2024, you look at this team, everybody is playing well at the same time. I can't even, and I'm talking like 1 through 9. I'm not talking like the starting 5. Even Landry Shamet, 12 of 13 from 3 in the conference finals. So if everybody is clicking at the same time, that makes it impossible to beat them, even if they're not better than the Thunder or San Antonio. If everybody's playing well at the same time, you could beat the 96 Bulls.
Final question, JT, about 90 seconds for the answer. Given how well the Knicks have played, and we've laid the stats out in this postseason, and obviously, like, Oklahoma City's the defending champ there, and by the way, if they win tonight, have the same record as the Knicks in the playoffs entering the finals, This will be the best NBA Finals matchup, quality of team versus quality of team, since which NBA Finals? Have about 60 seconds here.
Oh, about quality, it was like 2016. I mean, Cleveland ends up winning it. I don't think Cleveland was that good. They were mediocre during the regular season, although you could say that the Knicks are mediocre during the regular season this year. I guess we can go there. We'll go with that one, only because of like the level they reached. But Cleveland wasn't even good during the regular season. In regards to excitement, I would also say 2016, it'd be the most exciting one since then.
Is Cavs-Warriors Game 7 2016 the best game of your lifetime in any sport? It is for me. 20 seconds.
No, just because I wasn't rooting for Cleveland to win. As far as drama, maybe it was. I didn't want to see them win the championship.
It was 89-89 for what felt like 2 hours of real time before Kyrie made that 3 to put them up 92-89. I think it's the best game ever played.
That's actually, it's one of the worst games ever played. If you look at the last 2 minutes and everybody's inability to score, I'm like, look at the 1980s guys couldn't score. They had no skill. And then we're watching what's supposed to be the greatest offense of all time with Steph. The
defense was unbelievable, man. And Draymond, by the way, prevented us from an all-time great LeBron dunk by a brutal foul there on what should have.
And the amazing part was that was the last great offensive game Draymond had of his career. He actually had 27 points in that game, and he hasn't scored since. So he made a deal with the devil.
We got to go. You're the best, JT. We'll catch up with you next week for the finals, I think, because you'll be there. You're the best. Thank you. Enjoy the haircut.
Yes,
you need it.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go. The hair was looking like a flock of seagulls.